Hello, this is Voyenture time. Don't worry, I'm not going to try to kiss you. I'm just going to adjust the bulbophonic laser to align the Hibernautilus rift into the bubophon plasmodial formation. I'm Andrew, and with me today is...
Sarah.
Ben, who was very impressed by that reading.
And I'm your sleepy boy, Nathan.
Thank you. I was also very impressed with myself, but I tried to stay cool and stay professional and not congratulate myself until now.
That was a very professional string of words you said.
Good job.
So professional. First try, might I add.
Yeah. Very good.
Today we're talking about Voyager episode Phage. Is it Phage?
Phage.
Yeah, it's Phage.
Phage.
Yeah, yeah.
Phage.
Is it
Phage.
Phage or Phage? How soft should my G be?
I think it's Faye.
Faye. Today we're talking about the Voyager episode Faye.
Weirdly, all about yogurt.
Yeah, an organ-harvesting species known as the Vidians steal Neelix's lungs, putting it in the bottom of the yogurt.
Vidians.
Huh. Vidian. Oh, that's why the two eyes, yeah. Okay, for real. Today we're talking about Voyager episode Phage. I still feel like I'm saying that wrong. Phage. Today we're talking about Voyager episode Phage.
Take your pick in editing.
I'm leaving all of this
Phage.
in.
This is what the people are here for.
An organ-harvesting species known as the Vidians steal Neelix's lungs, leaving him to die. And the Adventure Time episode, Ricardio the Heart Guy. Finn believes that Princess Bubblegum's new friend, a literal heart named Ricardio, voiced by George Takei, is evil and is proven right about learning that Ricardio is the heart of the Ice King. Ricardio reveals that he wants to make out with Bubblegum's heart, but he is defeated by Finn and Jake. And the episode, Business Time. Finn and Jake fall victim to their own laziness when they delegate their adventuring responsibilities to a group of businessmen they thawed from an iceberg. Eventually, the businessmen's efficiency causes them to become hazards to others, and they are refrozen into an iceberg. Friends, these were some wild episodes.
Yeah, I was going to say, how
episodes.
are we feeling about these ones? Because
Quite a contrast to last week.
Yeah, I like, Phage was, I think, significantly better than last week. But
Yes.
Ricardio was good. Business Time, I think, was probably the weakest of the three this time. But it was...
That's probably fair, but I do love those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes, we will.
I thought this was a really good Voyager episode altogether, and I really appreciated like the sci-fi stuff they did with like the holographic lungs and everything, because it like there's rules and limits, and it was clearly set up, and it gave the episode really good stakes, and it was just all together really good.
Yeah, I really liked a lot of that. The cave that they went into when they went down onto this planet, it gave me some really strong Doctor Who vibes, like them running through like just random industrial plant type shit in Doctor Who. It felt really good in that way for me.
Oh, that's a good thing. Oh, I thought you were... Okay.
No, I like Doctor Who. I like that show, Andrew.
I've never seen it, so I don't know whether that was a positive or negative assessment.
Oh, yeah. No, I very much so like Doctor Who. As I mentioned to Sarah not too long ago, it's how I met my wife, so I'm going to have a fond memory of it.
Yes.
That's right.
I really liked how it started with the discussion of like trying to grow plants and stuff. Give me more of the survivalist shit. I want... I want that always.
Yeah, I was also noting that, like, I like this idea of them always kind of being a little bit low on supplies.
Yes.
Is a good feeling to, like, know that there's that stress.
I hope it gets dire. I want to see, like, the real pressures of having to feed and take care of that many people really start to drain the crew. Just because that's what you would expect to happen.
Right. I just want to say that I think it's just very endearing how much you like the show so far when, like, it is the first season is not known as its like good stuff, you know. So if it's if this
I
is
didn't
where
know
we're
that.
starting, it's gonna like
Wow.
really blow your minds later, I guess.
I'm excited.
I am excited, and I just think that speaks to the quality of show because so many first seasons start out weaker than the rest. And given that this feels like it's coming out of the gate so strong already, is a good sign.
Yeah, they know who their characters are so completely right away, and that's something they typically have to find. Well, at least the big ones that they've shown so far. So Janeway, Chakotay, Tuvok, and B'Elanna, and
the
Neelix.
Doctor.
The Doctor.
And the Doctor. And the Doctor. Yeah.
Really,
How could I forget?
The absolute star of this episode, I would add.
I was gonna say that. To me, I think that there are certain characters who are holding it up so far.
That's fair.
Specifically, Janeway, obviously, and the Doctor.
Yeah.
Like, I think that they make everybody else in the scenes with them better and more interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Especially Tom Paris, like the most whitest bag of bland toast you've ever seen.
Not even
On
toast.
that
He's just
note-
regular. He's untoasted bread.
On that note, I loved how much they were dunking on Tom Paris in this episode.
Yeah,
Like,
the
the Doctor
not
just
like
like-
him.
They assigned Paris to me. Like,
Yeah.
he's might as well not be like an assistant at all. Like,
Yeah.
oh, he was so good every time he was brought up. Another small thing, something I discovered recently. I'm sharing a tweet with you. The actor Tim Russ, who plays Tuvok, was also in Spaceballs as the guy in the desert who goes, "We ain't found shit."
That's incredible.
Yep.
Oh, thank God.
It's so good. It's such an important discovery. My new goal is to find these weird other things that the actors have been in to just share this with everyone.
That's delightful.
Right?
Holy shit. And then he gets to play a Vulcan science officer. God bless him.
Is he a science officer? I thought he was a security officer.
He is security.
Oh, he's security?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the
Oh.
gold color. Blue is science. Red
Oh,
is
okay.
command. Gold is security.
I thought red was engineering.
Red is
dead.
Well, yeah, that's really what it is.
Well, okay, I don't actually know why engineering has changed.
Isn't engineering like it's the ranks, but they've got like the Starfleet badge with a little spiral in it?
What?
No? Hold on.
No, okay. So engineering changed colors in Next Generation from because Scotty wore red in the original series.
Right.
But I don't really know why engineering and security wear the same color because they do. So I don't know what that's.
Both know multitudes of ways to kill you.
Yeah, why didn't they? There are more than 3 colors. Why did they not just toss in like green or purple or something like that?
Because
those colors are gone in the future. Hate to tell you.
Oh man, you're right, Nate.
Yeah, you live.
Sorry to break it to you that we lose some colors.
When you live in a post-scarcity society, you have to make some sacrifices, and in this case, it's the colors green and purple. Yes, it's yes.
What are you saying yes to?
I don't know. I'm just. I lost track where we were in the conversation because I was googling the engineering insignia.
Was somebody googling uniform colors to explain that, or are we not going into that?
No, I trust you completely.
Well, I'm telling you, I don't know things because I don't know why they changed colors or anything. I'm just all I know is the departments that the current people on this show work in, and I don't know why their colors are what they are.
Why did Starfleet change uniform colors? Here we go. In the pilot original series episode, the science and security personnel wore blue. Once the series went into production, engineering and security wore red. This is also true, interestingly, for the Enterprise TV show, except they all wore pretty cool jumpsuits. Let's see. Oh my god, this is way too long. Of post
I know.
to read
I
out
was
loud.
gonna say, why are you reading all of that? Because I'm sure it's like an essay.
It is.
There's gonna be a lot there, bud.
That was someone's college dissertation.
Oh, here we go. Oh, this
Yeah.
is good. It's because Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes look better in red than in gold.
Huh?
Amazing. I mean, that's fair.
That's a real answer, and I appreciate it.
And Data didn't look good in blue because of his skin tone.
I can see that, yeah.
That checks out.
Yeah.
That's excellent. This is there's someone really above and beyond here, but there's a great picture of Spock looking very happy with himself, playing with some weird blue things.
Oh, what?
Excuse
Playing
me?
with.
Wait,
Oh.
there it is.
That's from the pilot. That's like the only time he ever smiled like that.
Look at that. He looks so excited.
He looks very excited.
Those are like plants, I guess. This was before they knew that Vulcans weren't gonna smile and all of that, because it was the literal first episode ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it looks so weird. You're right, because he's a Vulcan and they don't smile.
Yeah.
Unless you're Tim Russ in Spaceballs. God, I can't believe that's amazing.
So I want to take a second to talk about tricorders.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
What is it that they can't do? Because there's a moment in there where they're like, oh, there was someone in here 10 minutes ago. It's like, okay, so it's detecting that someone was there and the proximity of time that they were there and their weapons and their, their like what is it they can't do?
Pretty much nothing. They're like the magic device that's like, we need a way out of this one. Well, let's make the tricorder do something that gives us the plot direction. Like,
That
Just
tracks.
can't make plain tomato soup.
okay, yeah. So there's 3 different types of things. There's a communicator, there's a tricorder, and there's a replicator. And all of the things that need to happen will happen from one of those things.
three.
Oh, and the transporter. So that's 4 things, 4 devices that will either cause problems or solve them.
I also have a note about tricorders, and it really bothers me that the flashlight on his tricorder is the end of his tricorder and not like mounted on his shoulder or something. It's just bad design. That's my note.
That's fair.
I mean,
That's my only note.
the way they actually look is basically like a glorified calculator. So
I always thought like super ergonomic TV remote.
that could, yeah.
Yeah, I buy that. But why would they have the flashlight on their shoulder if it's built into the tricorder?
So they can see.
Because that way you can point your light at something without having to zap it with your tricorder.
Maybe it was a really dark cave. I don't know.
Feels like a weird nitpick to me.
Yep,
Well-
I'm not claiming it's not a nitpick.
Okay,
Or
fair.
any, yeah. No, totally. Do you want to hear another nitpick?
Yes.
Okay.
They're on a spaceship with like hundreds of crewmen. Why do the officers, the bridge officers, always go on the away missions?
Because the
They
show's
don't
about them. They're the ones getting paid to be on the TV show.
Also,
I-
would you trust the random crewmen to be able to do shit?
Well, okay, there's not as many people on the Voyager as there are on other ships. So there's only like 200 people.
There were only like 200 people on Battlestar Galactica, but Admiral Adama never got in a Viper to shoot Cylons.
Janeway's not doing that either. I'm just saying.
So on a flip side of that question, why would you trust Neelix to come down
Well,
on that
that
mission?
made me so mad because of course they fucking shouldn't. He's like,
Right.
I've been reading about it for a week and I should get to go. And then they're like,
I'm
okay.
a professional.
And then he
We're like, okay,
immediately
fine.
disobeys orders and gets his fucking lungs stolen. Like,
Which
This
was
is
amazing.
just after he set up a chef station in like
yeah, he is
Janeway's
not
Place.
trustworthy.
It's just like obviously he's just shown like, yeah, you should not be trusting him down there.
No.
I have some notes on the chef station.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Janeway was gonna murder him, by the way.
She should have.
Yeah.
She should
Yeah.
have. She should have.
Yes.
Open flame at a starship? Bad idea. An alien cooking for you who's never seen humans until now? Bad idea.
Yeah, there's nothing really great about that scenario.
And then he just leaves with a bunch of stuff on fire, and that that red shirt guy's just like, okay, I guess I'll just take care of it while
Yeah.
he's gone.
He caught on fire 2 minutes later, as soon as the camera moved away.
Definitely.
You could see the panic in his eyes when he was told that.
I feel like they just needed to give Neelix a job to justify him being there, because otherwise he's literally useless. And honestly, I think he's still useless because
his lungs are removed.
Well, first of all, I was so annoyed when I was watching this, and he was like, I should get to go down. I've been reading the manuals for a week or whatever. And like, these people who are on the spaceship who are Starfleet officers went to the fucking academy for 5 years or whatever the fuck and graduated to have the honor of serving on this spaceship to get to go on away missions like that. And you still don't even get to do that until you're on the bridge crew, apparently. And so now Neelix is just coming in like, I should get to go. I've read a book about it for a whole week.
Give me that doohickey that I could talk to you with.
Yeah, and then instead of doing what he's supposed to do, he just runs off and gets his lungs stolen, and it causes all those problems. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe they should have just fucking left him down there. It would have been.
Was that Janeway's plan all along, to get him killed?
No. She's a better person than I would be in that situation. I would not let him die either. Okay, I'm not a bad person, but Neelix sucks, and I wouldn't have let him come on the ship. I would have been like, we don't. Thanks,
We'll
but
pass.
no thanks. You can go on your way. Best of luck to you.
We'll give you some supplies and you can head out. But
you and Cass could go explore on your own, and we won't have
go explore each other.
Stupid. Ew.
God.
Can we talk about the weird, stupid jealousy moment that he had?
Oh, that was
so really
dumb.
weird.
God.
It's just so unclear what their actual relationship is here.
Do they think of themselves as
Very
brother and
confusing.
sister, or are they romantic?
I think it's supposed to be romantic. At least that's how Neelix was acting. I don't know if Kes...
That's how I was acting there, but like
I don't know
no
if
other
really
scenario.
Kes understands it the same way that Neelix does, because it seems more like he's just like, yeah, I see how you look at Tom Paris or whatever, and she's like, you're being ridiculous. And it's like, is she saying that because she's not into Paris and she's into Neelix, or is she saying that because why should Neelix care who she likes, or like
why would anybody like Tom Paris? I think was my read.
That's there's another fair question.
Well,
She's dreamy.
at this point in the show, no one should. Yeah.
Will we like him later? Does he become more likable?
I mean, I think he grows up, but I don't really remember it that well. I don't remember having strong feelings one way or the other on what happens to him.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well for his character development.
Well, it's been a long time since I watched this show, okay?
I will say, though, that is one of the best parts of this episode was the back and forth between Neelix and the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just their dynamic together was very good with their contrast of each other.
Yeah.
The whole I have an itch scene.
Oh my God.
It's like go and itch his nose.
That was really good.
That was hilarious. I also like the fact that by the end of it, the Doctor and Kes are actually becoming friends, just like I was hoping they would be.
Yes.
In Parallax. Like, I'm so glad that like friend relationship is going to be moving forward in this show.
Mm-hmm.
I could care less about the Neelix one.
Yeah, I mean, this episode definitely gave them both things to do on the ship, so that's good. Now they can theoretically become contributing members of the crew instead of just random people
there
who have no jobs.
I really like how the Voyager's red alert lighting is just mood lighting that makes everybody look like underlit, so they look super tough and dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really smart ship design. I really like that. What's the point of fading the lights down when you're in danger? Why would you do that?
You fight
That's a good
better.
question.
You fight better when you're horny? I don't know.
Maybe it's like safety, like the lights can't explode. I know things still explode randomly, but maybe that's why. Or they just need it to be more dramatic looking because it's a TV show.
It does look very good.
It does.
The
I could
dramatic
see
lighting helps relieve the tent. Well, no, increase tent. Higher alert crew for lights.
What?
That
Nate's malfunctioning.
Can we get a quick power cycle on Nate here?
All right, I will say, so this was a good episode overall, but like once we got to the multiple Voyagers, I was kind of like, all right, I'm not into this. We did this already.
At least this
This
version of multiple Voyagers was not another one where it's like, oh, time travel. This one, at least, it was like, oh, there's, I guess, mirrors this time, but
yeah, Space Hall of Mirrors,
which did make me laugh a whole bunch. Like they're just in a fun house. That thing,
yeah.
Also, the flying into that asteroid, it was such a "that's no moon" moment. Like,
I was,
it was
comparing
funny.
it more to the asteroid in Empire Strikes Back with the big
the big worm.
Yeah.
I buy that too.
I don't know. I just the stakes were so good and interesting, and the story with Neelix having holographic lungs, which was very good. All that was super interesting, and then at the end it's just like, well, we'll bring him on the ship, we'll have a conversation, and then goodness will prevail, and this guy will transplant lungs because he's super good at medicine all of a sudden. It just felt a little too pat for me.
Yeah, it did kind of leave off on a low note, because it did feel like those aliens just showed up out of not out of nowhere, but so suddenly.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
Although the doctor's response to his face when they tell him, these simulated organs are primitive. He's just so distraught.
He looks so offended.
I mean, I agree that the resolution wasn't like super thrilling, but it is a very Star Trek ending. Because it's like, we're resolving this by being the best version of ourselves in terms of Janeway and also Kes, like sacrificing one of her fucking lungs for Neelix. And then the fact that they didn't solve it with violence, and everyone just came out. It was just like, that's what the spirit of Star Trek kind of is that you solve it by talking instead of fighting.
Well, right. And like, oh, now we understand the people that were behind this, and the sympathy for that side, and what they are dealing with. It's like, it is very classic Star Trek.
Yeah, understanding your enemy and where they're coming from. Yeah. And then like Janeway's speech to them was pretty badass, I thought.
Oh yeah, Janeway had a great episode in terms of her being a badass.
So mad and distraught, and then she was just like, if I ever see you again, this is not going to be how this goes. This is my mercy right here. There's not going to be more. She
was ready to go to fucking war over Neelix.
I know.
Like, can you imagine if it was somebody even
that she actually liked
more? Yeah. Somebody who had not just turned her personal mess into a fucking cookout, like someone who she didn't want to kill. She was scary just for Neelix.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just didn't click for me for some reason. I can't quite put my finger on why. Janeway's great. I think it just felt too clean at the end. Like, they went to this new place. They went to like the Hall of Mirrors, and they got the guys on the ship, and then just a simple conversation resolved everything. I just didn't love it. If they'd set it up a little bit more earlier, I think I may have been into it more.
Yeah, because we knew nothing about the aliens until they just showed up, or until they actually were on the ship. So,
well, I think that they're going to be a recurring race.
Okay,
really?
I think so.
It did seem like pretty expensive prosthetics for one episode.
Well, I mean, I just remember the fact that I remembered the names.
And how to pronounce it. Yeah.
Just made me think I must have seen more than one episode with them in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that they don't show up again in Voyager, but are in other series?
No, because it's the Delta Quadrant.
Fair. I'm a dumbass.
Yeah, it definitely felt like that was this is just an introduction to that race type setup. Like, this is the setup episode for, some return of either those characters or that race generally.
I appreciated that Neelix was cooking alien food at the very beginning, and all they had for that were purple potatoes and eggplant.
Yeah, just anything purple.
It's alien food to me.
Yeah. Just raw purple potatoes and like these weird sort of like striped eggplants.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you need to be an alien to like eggplant anyways, so.
Oh, seriously. It's a bad food.
It's a very bad food.
It's like soft, and then you cook it, and it doesn't ever get crispy or browned. It just like melts. It's horrible. It's bad.
The process to get it crispy is so fucking wild. It's like you have to cook it like this for 10 minutes. Then you need to put a whole bunch of salt on it, and then you need to pat it dry partway through the cooking, and then you need to put it in the oven. It's awful.
It's terrible. And it doesn't taste good. After all that work, it just tastes bad.
Welcome to the eggplant corner.
You did all that work to cook a shitty vegetable. Congratulations.
Yeah, you could just like cook some zucchini and it would taste way better and cooks way easier and doesn't turn into ash in your mouth.
Okay. Yep.
I don't
mean,
have
you're
any
right.
strong opinions on eggplant.
Sorry, Italians, you're all wrong. Eggplant parmesan, terrible. Japanese eggplants are pretty cute though.
Okay, well, should we talk about the other show that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so Adventure Time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Guess what? Ice King's back.
Starting off strong with Ricardio the Heart Guy with Jake's fake princess butt.
Oh, I know.
With 2 rocks in it, indistinguishable.
Completely the same as Princess Bubblegum. Also the quote, I bet you wish you were my butt. I mean, I bet you wish you were the Ice King and Princess Bubblegum were my butt.
It sounds like you're dealing with some new emotions you don't understand, like jealousy. Sarah, did you like this episode?
It was fine.
What did you not like about this episode?
I mean, I just didn't have very strong feelings one way or the other, I guess. It wasn't as funny as others to me.
Yeah, Ricardio definitely made it a little bit, like, there were good moments, but I don't think it was a, like, hilarious one overall.
But do you think that's just because his face is all foldy and dramatic?
Like handsome Squidward?
I did like the argument that they were having about how to tell if he's evil or if he just looks evil. Because I appreciate the message that's like, okay, don't judge somebody by what they look like. Maybe they just look evil. They're not actually evil, but then he was evil. So I don't know how that really plays out moral-wise.
There was this close-up shot where it was switched from Ricardio's face taking up the entire frame to Finn's face taking up the entire frame, and they had matching teeth, and it was really upsetting to see Finn's teeth look like that.
Anytime they do those like weird close-up shots, it's always like the most upsetting faces that they could possibly be making.
Yeah, it brings me right back to all the classic like SpongeBob cuts to like the gross close-up faces.
Like the hyper-realistic drawing. Yeah.
It's so funny that that's our point of reference for this, because it was Ren and Stimpy that did all those things first, and then the animators from that program would go on to do like SpongeBob and these sorts of shows, and so they took that with them.
Yeah, that checks out.
Can you imagine the grin on George Takei's face as he says the line, "I'm gonna smooch that heart, it will be my bride"?
Yeah. I mean, I know exactly what face he made.
Just the huge grin as he says these ridiculous lines with like all of his seriousness, like full actor power coming to bear on these ridiculous sentences.
That was an interesting like character take, is because like Ricardio being Ice King's heart and having very much the same goals in mind, essentially, like just being a hyper focus of what Ice King is in a different dramatic way, I guess.
Yeah, like his personality distilled down to like the core qualities.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. So the composer, this is my fun fact of this episode, although it's not going to be nearly as fun as Ben's, because that is just phenomenally good news that you brought us. The composer of this episode chose opera as Ricardio's background music because he knew it had a reputation for being, quote, sickeningly intellectual and, quote, preoccupied with murder, which he thought were very appropriate for Ricardio.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yep.
That's a very good choice in music for him.
I also like that Ricardio had a little butt.
The tiny little butt cheeks.
That horrible, huge face that covers the entire front of him with like lots of lines and features, and then just two little butt cheeks back there.
I love that we were on the same page because I also wanted to bring up that Ricardio has a tiny little butt.
He's got little butt cheeks.
What?
It's a little hard butt.
So my biggest question in this episode was, why would Princess Bubblegum think? Why would she be interested in him? Like, it's
Who, in Ricardio?
weird.
They talked science.
Okay, but he was
She's
really
all about
smarmy
science.
and gross.
Yeah, he definitely was.
Yeah.
While he was talking about science with her.
He just loves science.
Well, Princess Bubblegum
No.
just loves science. And she's thrilled to be able to talk to somebody about it.
She's
'cause
finally found someone who will talk about science with her.
Yeah, because
I guess she just needs to find a new friend group.
Yeah.
she needs to get like anybody
She needs an
else who has a
outlet.
brain near her.
Yeah.
Look, Finn is a big, sweet, brave boy, but he's not the sharpest tool in the box.
He's not even
Yes,
in the
him and
box,
his
I would argue.
Him and his valiant attempt to talk science.
Yeah.
is very charming.
That was very sweet. We've all been that
tries.
person before.
Yep.
That's how I got through school.
Trying to ad-lib science talk with a big pink baguette.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I remember this episode very differently, and I realized halfway through it that what I was expecting was going to happen comes in a much later season. I think it's the season 4 episode where he comes back, where things are like super weird and super dark, and this one still has like the season 1, like it's weird and it's a little bit darker, but it still has that sort of season 1, like la la la, nothing really matters sort of. It's almost nihilistic.
Yeah.
Because in the end, he just like shoves him back in his chest, and then it's super creepy
Right.
for a second as he says he's going to come back, but then it's fine.
Yeah.
I think what they find out in later seasons of Adventure Time is that it's important to have stakes, whether they're like short term for the episode or long term for like character development or something like that. And once they figure out how to apply that to this weird show, it gets really good.
That makes sense. Because like it's a good point. Like, how do you have stakes for this show at this point without like making it not a character?
Established.
Yeah,
Right.
There's nothing established, and how do you make it like essentially not a children's show at that point? Because there's no to give it stakes so early. You need to do something wild that may make it a little bit more than a children's show.
Right. Right. Yeah, when it starts out, it's just a show that wants to be silly, and then as it goes along, it starts to be a show that wants to actually ask things of its viewers, like have them engage with it on a level beyond just look at silly drawings farting.
But there are still silly drawings farting.
Right.
Let's be very clear on that. That still
But there's
happens.
sad farts. This show becomes The Sopranos of farting.
It becomes,
Okay.
but why do we fart?
I guess I feel like it's without really knowing where it goes or anything. It just seems like just building up the characters and like kind of trust from the viewers, like in what's happening and who the people are. Because you have to like the character. It's like, honestly, a lot of shows do that. You know, the first season is kind of just experimenting and figuring out who the characters are and just kind of running around and figuring that out. And then once you have that, then you can iterate, I guess. Go farther with it.
That's a really good point. I never thought about the first couple seasons of a TV show being about building trust in the characters, but you're totally right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I think like Adventure Time, I think has like 2, maybe 3 characters that they know who they are at this point, and it's like it's Finn, maybe Princess Bubblegum, kind of Jake, and then because I don't think they know what to do with Ice King at this point. And it's a very similar situation to Voyager, where they're like, we know who Janeway is, we know who the Doctor is. We're kind of playing
build from there.
We're kind of playing fast and loose with everyone else.
Yeah, everyone else is like a whiteboard with some scribbles that we might change.
Right.
We'll toss some spaghetti at the wall, and maybe Tom Paris will have a moment of character growth that immediately gets erased because of time travel. because it turns out we didn't actually like that character growth.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think it is interesting it might be fun at the very end to watch the first episode of each show and the last episode and just see how the characters have changed over time.
Yeah.
But by design of this very show you are listening to, we have decided to come at it from two different directions, and that Sarah is our Star Trek expert and we're the Adventure Time people. And so like we know the arc of Finn and Jake and all the characters in it, so like we can't look at it with fresh eyes. And you can't look at the Voyager characters with fresh eyes because we already know how it all plans out. And it's interesting to hear how, from you, Sarah, how the Adventure Time characters appear so far. And I hope it's interesting to hear from us how the Voyager characters do as well.
Yeah.
Also, to be clear, I think both Nate and I have not watched all of Adventure Time, but we know enough about the entire series to know generally what goes on as a, like, just point of clarity.
Yeah, and it's a show where, like, you know, pretty early on they do figure out the characters, and so like you have that in your brain. You don't have to know every episode to know, like,
right?
Yeah.
But yes, we should move on to the next episode with
because I'm drooling for business.
I'm just drooling all the time.
I think my favorite bit in this episode was right at the beginning when they are melting those melting down the melting that all down to get the treasure, and Jake can just find nothing but baby shoes, and they're all
just this huge collection of baby shoes,
and they're all lefties too. Why? What a weird detail.
And I really appreciated you. You know what that reminded me of? Well-dressed pickles.
Yes. This is such a nothing episode to me. Like, it's silly, but nothing happens in it that's important at all.
No,
right.
Yeah. It was a funny episode. It was,
yes.
It was enjoyable just because it was funny, and that's it.
I kind of feel like it's one of those things like kids shows and movies do to kind of entertain the parents that might be around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because like
absolutely.
a child watching this is not going to be like, oh, ha ha ha, there's people who are businessmen was running around like zombies. Like, that's for people who have worked in corporate offices to laugh at.
Yes.
So
the animation of the gauntlet was a nice new touch in terms of style.
Yeah, it was really impressively done. Very, very smooth.
They had to redraw every one of those as you go through it like that.
Mm-hmm. That's
I really appreciated the giant pair of scissors as an obstacle. That was very good.
The business zombies did get very HAL 2000, or was it HAL 9000?
Yeah.
With the it's the best way to protect these people is to maybe not kill them all. Maybe not kill them all, but collect them.
Collect them in the care sack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you'll be safe in here.
Their happiness is not priority.
Yep.
Is that all we have to say about this episode? It was fine. It was cute.
Yeah, it was a
fun episode.
Fun episode.
Yes.
Fluff episode.
Not a whole lot
I
to
really
dive
did
into.
appreciate them bringing the water and orange slices like a good sports game.
That's how you.
That was really
That's how you
good.
rehydrate.
All right, well then it's time for connections. I think there's a really obvious one, and because I'm the host, I'm going to say it. And it's that two of these episodes involve organs being removed from bodies. One escapes and one is removed.
Yep. That was the big one.
That
was
is
a big
a
one.
very big one. My connection is that Neelix was lost and had no purpose, just like the business zombies when he didn't have a job.
Oh,
Very
look
good.
at you.
2 for 2, baby.
Wow.
Sorry, 2 for 3. Because I missed that first one.
Yeah, wow, I like that. Is Neelix going to get power crazed with his cooking and not let anybody else do things? Like, flavor is not a priority.
Sustenance is the priority.
I don't remember anybody thinking Neelix was that great at cooking, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, did anyone actually eat the food? We don't ever see
Well,
that.
I mean,
Did they
He
just toss
served
all?
it.
I think that
He served him raw
Did he?
potatoes.
Did he serve it, though?
no, because
It's not
he
a tray.
left.
He
He
was just
left for
cooking,
that
he
away
left.
mission while all of that was cooking, and then he got his lungs stolen, and so he couldn't go back to the kitchen. He was dealing with that. So I don't know if anybody actually ate it.
It's probably
Yeah.
best for everybody.
Let's just leave that as it is, because he also tried to cook eggplant, which we're not going to go back to.
Yeah, seriously.
I feel like the only reason that they would accept him as a cook on the ship is because they're like sick of rationing all of they like can't use the replicators as often as they would normally. Because I don't think that they would be like, sure, Neelix, have that room to make a kitchen. How did he make all that shit? He didn't bring that with him.
Yeah.
And if they're not using the replicators to make food, then why the fuck would he be able to use the replicators to make pans and all that shit?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. He just went down and raided engineering and found stuff that he could assemble.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me.
He just got B'Elanna to be like, or he went to B'Elanna and was like, hey, I need you to reforge this metal into pans and pots and all that for me. And that don't question why.
Because she has nothing else to do.
Yeah, you're not busy.
Mm-hmm. My other connection is that the phage are also, they have faces that are foldy and dramatic.
Yep. I mean, that's one way to describe them.
You're not wrong.
The Vidians. Yes.
These shows have so many connections, it's almost as if they were made at the same time. We're really uncovering a conspiracy here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's almost like they were, but they definitely were not, because they were separated by about 2 decades.
2 decades?
The makers of Voyager were just huge Adventure Time fans.
Right.
Wait.
That's why there's so much time travel in these early episodes.
God,
exactly.
they get right into like the Star Trek tropes right away with like the time travel and all this like stuff. It just right off the bat there.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen the first 5 episodes of the first season of Next Generation, but I seem to remember there's like a weird one where like it's like episode 2 or 3
There's
where they go
weird
down.
One.
They go down to like a house and it's just like this burned out planet, but there's like these 2 old people living in a house in a little patch of green.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was just a weird episode. They didn't get until time travel until the later seasons. And Voyager's like, you know what? Fuck it. We're throwing everything Star Trek at this immediately. I really like that. Good shit.
These are good shows.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, next time, are we done? Are we finished our conversation?
I think so.
I think
all right.
It seems right. It feels right.
Yeah.
And next time, we'll be watching the Voyager episode, The Cloud, and the Adventure Time episodes, My 2 Favorite People, which is great because we get to meet Jake's girlfriend, and Memories of Boom Boom Mountain, which is a incredible episode that I cannot believe managed to get on TV.
I like the name of this mountain.
It's, yes. Well, yes. Yep.
We'll get there.
Until then, we'll just wait for you here.
By the mausoleum.
With our backs turned.
And our defensives lowered.
I'm a doctor, not well-dressed pickles.